Hello and welcome. We are going to talk about City of Heroes comics. It is the 20th anniversary. This comic book is a promotional issue. I don't know how you should have, would have, could have gotten this. Published by Dark Horse Comics to promote the game. If I remember right, the book here came out in 2002. The game came out in May 2004. Huh. 20th anniversary. Boom. There it is. It's a great cover. We're zoomed in here on just the top, like, half of the cover, maybe two-thirds. But you can see Requiem looking super dark and menacing back here. Glowy eyes, black uniform, pips on the collar, like dude looks serious, right? Maybe a little generic, but serious. Then here in the middle, you got Statesman looking all patriotic, triumphant. He's got the helmet on. He's got the look. He's got the look of like the flying brick patriotic hero, which is exactly what he is. He's the Superman, Captain America type character of the setting. Although I guess Captain America's not really a flying brick, but you know what I mean. Like, he's that kind of archetype. He's going to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Now, down front, we have War Witch and we have Apex. These two characters were originally kind of stand ins for the player characters in the setting. They've later grown into their own thing and are in the game for real, for real. Oh, right. This is a comic book based on a game that had yet to come out when the comic book was created. And then down here in the bottom left corner, we have Thunderclap. He is the player character. He's the main character of this book. He's the one we see the story through. Here's the credits. Rick Dakin, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Fun fact, he was fired in like 2003 after founding the company. Yeah. And I don't know anything about Rick Zombo. But there's your credits. You can see all this stuff. www.darkhorse.com. We're going to zoom in a little bit here. And we're going to go down to page 3, which is fantastic. One of the things that is a big feature of City Heroes is to get from zone to zone, you take the train. You're laughing. I hear you over there. You're laughing. Superheroes ain't going to be taking the train. I know what you're saying. But that's just how City Heroes works. It's faster to take the train, especially now on all the modern like private servers and stuff. But even back in the day, like we very carefully mapped out the fastest routes between zones so we could get from like Atlas Park to Talos Island as quickly as possible to go do stuff. Sometimes it meant like you took a trip through the nightclub or whatever, but we figured all that stuff out. So what they're doing here is they're showing us like very key stuff in the setting. We got a hero who's kind of pretending he's not, but look at the giant chunky gloves he's wearing. We got another hero in the background. Like there's a little micro story right here just with this guy, whoever this speedster is. He's getting into his uniform. As soon as the doors open, and he's out. This whole bit is our new hero is talking to an old timer that lives in the town about the city. Oh, what do you guys, or why do you guys do it anyway? I mean, thanks and all, I appreciate it, but why? I guess after the Ricti invasion, which is part of the backstory. This whole comic book is just here to introduce us to the world. City Heroes is set in the world of Paragon City, which is kind of like New York, except it's in Rhode Island, and it's full of superheroes. The Earth was invaded by the Ricti, and all the superheroes pretty much died, except for the surviving 8. That's kind of the premise of the story. And because of the invasions and all that, there are these things called the war walls, which you can't really see too well except for right here. This is not actually how Atlas Park is laid out, by the way. There's no giant war wall and gate over here that you can see directly, like right there. That looks so close. But that's how it goes. The big force fields, the giant gates, they keep the aliens from invading, which honestly, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they have ships and teleporters and all that jazz, but it's just part of the setting. It's their excuse to have zones that end instead of just a wide open map that you just keep going through. Look, the game was developed before WoW. Okay, it was before World of Warcraft. There's a lot of weird stuff in the game and the way they architected it. This, however, what we're looking at here is Atlas Park. This is this wait, is this actually Atlas Park or is this Galaxy? Let's look up. It doesn't say, but that looks like Atlas Park to me, not Galaxy. That looks like the City Hall in Atlas Park. What was it? Don't know. Don't recognize him. Where you going? Oh, who knows? Listen, I gotta go. The big steel door. Geez, didn't you read a guidebook? That's a hazard zone, huh? Place is still dangerous after the war, not safe for decent folk. Like he's going in there. It's a good way to get killed. Or noticed, right? I guess. Thanks for the advice. So, our idiot young hero is like, yeah, I'm going to go into this hazard zone, which you used to be level locked from going into them unless you had enough experience. Not really the case in the modern version of the game, but back in the day, it certainly was. Let's zip down to page 8. Action. Our hero's here. He's met War Witch, he's met Apex, and the three of them are kicking Cyborg Buttock. Some of these cyborgs only got one, okay? So I don't want to use the plural. I'm trying to be kind. But these dudes are called the Freak Show. They're a cyborg gang. They stole a bunch of like military cybernetics and military combat enhancement stuff. And so they're just on the rampage, always looking for like their next fix to cause chaos. They're a constant feature of the game once you get to like level 20 and on. So now we're getting to see kind of how the game works. You got people zapping and zorching and all kinds of stuff, cool special effects, great combat. We're getting like a couple different styles. Her power set here, this is like autumnal assault or something. She's got like fire and ice, and until very recently, she was the only character with that power set. He's just got some kind of energy or blast or something like that. And Apex is a martial artist who later on gets a sword, and he's just kicking butt. He is kicking cyborg butt. That's all the story is. And as they fight through all the freak shows, they fight through all the bad guys, they get ambushed. They go a little too far. Like they're in here, they're trying to disarm some bombs in the zone. No problem, War Witch. Blam! And what's waiting for him? A big, scary, black and red robot. Remember how I told you some dude named Requiem was on the cover? Here's one of his robots. He's one of the bad guys from World War II. Literally. Not like a Neo bad guy from World War II. He is a bad guy from World War II. I'd say the word, but YouTube would demonetize me because they don't like that word, even when you're applying it, in a factual manner. And so this is, we get a little action sequence here with them fighting these bad guys. Basically, the middle of this, like most of this book, is just a big action sequence. And then Statesman shows up and we get a lore dump, and it's all great stuff. Setting up a lot of the big points of the game. Introducing some of the big characters. It's a great introduction to the setting. As a comic book, it's okay. There's nothing fantastic here. The art's nice. The pacing is all right. The writing is kind of forgettable. But it's not meant to be like a magnum opus comic book. It's meant to be, hey, here's this setting. Wouldn't this be fun to go be a superhero in? And you go, yeah, we're saving each other, watching each other's backs, fighting giant death robots, beating up cyborg criminals, getting ready to fight bad guys from World War II. Lots of fun stuff here. They pack a lot of action into this book. A lot more action goes into this than like a modern Marvel comic, which is absolutely crazy. How did the House of Ideas fall so far that I don't know what they paid the artist to make this book, but it was a staff writer, so this probably was budgeted pretty low, and it's got more juice to it than a lot of modern books. Absolutely blows my mind. That's City Heroes #1 from Dark Horse. If you're wondering, all these PDFs, I don't know if you can still get them, like if there's still a City Heroes website that still has this stuff, but they gave all these books away on the City Heroes website. When the game was first live, these comic books were actually part of your subscription, your monthly subscription. They would ship you a comic book. I missed that age, so I had to read all these in PDF form off of their website. So that's why I still have these. These are the PDFs I downloaded, 15 years ago or whatever. Kind of crazy. I do own 1 or 2 issues of the Top Cow series, the 3rd volume of City of Heroes, but this one, I don't think I got it. Kind of a shame. I really wish I did. Anyway, I really like this stuff. I have great endearment towards this setting and these characters. But if you're not going to play the game, I don't know that this issue has a whole lot of juice to you. It really is just kind of like setting stuff up so that the world becomes comprehensible. Anyway, you all take care. Have a great one, and bye bye.